we are going to the far side of Dallas for today's video. I am super excited. This is like 4 years in the making. Over 4 years ago, beginner Brian, on his early stages of his leather crafting career, I discovered this guy named Dave Swallow. Dave Swallow makes the sickest leather crafting racks and accessories. He makes like little tooling blocks, Shap display rigs, and a ton of other stuff. He's a woodworker, but he services the leather crafting community. I sent him a message and I was like, dude, I would love to have one of your pieces. Like, what do they cost? And he told me, and at the time, it was like half a month's rent for me. And I was just so early in my leather crafting career, there was no way that I could afford it. So I continued to follow him, and like in my head, I always just thought his stuff was going to just be too expensive for me. But now I'm 5 years into this leather crafting journey, and it's finally time. In a twist of events so uncanny, he's located on the east side of Dallas, and I'm on the west side of Fort Worth. So he's actually driving distance away. So right now we are driving through Dallas to go pick up my custom rack. That's where Mark Cuban lives.
You actually can't afford it at the big build. Let's take east to Texarkana, which is that.
This is like 5 years of anticipation mixed with all my leather crafting dreams coming to fruition. I am so excited for this. I have really cool knives. I have really cool stamps. I got really cool swivel blades. But I'm not gonna lie, this is like easily the most excited I've ever been to buy something for myself when it comes to my leather shop, if not ever. We're about 10 minutes out from Mr. Swallow here, and we are gonna pick this bad boy up. We secured the bag. Oh my God, you guys have no idea how excited I am for this thing. Oh God, I'm gonna break it. Also, while I was there, I bought up this really cool strap. And I built it specifically for this because this stone is really sentimental to me, and I really like this bench. It's a really nice bench. So this is like hopefully my final form setup here. All right, you guys, for the love of God, hold your breath that this works. I probably should move this thing, but it's fine. Let's go! Oh, it fits perfect. This thing fits so, oh my God, so perfect. So this is where it's gonna live. This is kind of where my stamps have been as it is. But I'm gonna put like my swivel knives right here and just load this thing up. And I'm really excited. Now the only pain in my neck is that I'm gonna tool this giant piece right here, and it was super surreal. Like the moment I walked in and he had the piece just like on his table, and I almost got like chills, just really tripping out and having like this out of it like body experience that I've been like fantasizing about this for like the past 5 years. Like ever since I started doing leather work, I wanted one of these, and now I actually have one. Like I'm have you seen me smile like this before? Like I don't know if I'll smile like this when my children are born, but anyways, I'm really excited. So what I want to do is I want to put my logo nice and big right here in the center, and then we're going to do some of our signature roses up and around the outside. I was like, damn, this is going to be kind of a tricky deal to do this pattern, because there's some space that goes behind here. I was like, damn, how am I going to do this? But luckily, Dave has this panel fully portioned off in the backside. So we're actually going to just pull our pattern right here from this chunk on the back. It's the same kind of window as the front side. So we're gonna take a pattern here and then just double check it fits perfectly on the front side. So the most important thing is going side to side, which we are at 17.5 inches. So we're gonna take some pattern paper here and a straight edge and figure out 17.5 inches. So we got a nice tight left to right fit. I'm not gonna lie to you, I am somewhat nervous about finding this radius. Now, I'm really bummed that I'm having to lean it face down the way I am, but you know, like I said, I don't really know a better way to pull this radius than what I'm going to attempt to do now. And what that is gonna be just basically secure this piece of paper here. And I'm gonna take a very delicate file, just like you learned in art class at school. And we're gonna rub here to find this high spot. You know, I probably should be using something a little bit more delicate, not a file, but I'm trying to be really light, really gentle, so we're trying to get those marks to stick. I don't know if you can see on the camera, but we have a nice radius right here. I know you might not be able to see it, but I do not want to mark this with a pencil, just so you guys could see it better and then have it kind of affect the radius itself. So what we're gonna do is just cut this right here along the rash line that I made. And I think that's it. Beautiful. Everything is going very smoothly up until this point, and I really hope we can continue getting lucky. Well, right there, our luck has ended. I do not know why this sharp knife is not winning against this paper. Everybody knows scissors beats paper. Maybe there's a fourth option. Maybe knife doesn't beat paper. Maybe knife beats scissors but loses to paper. Okay, we at least made a good enough etched deal there. Boom. Wow, I'm not gonna lie, I have no clue, but I am for some reason a little bit surprised that this worked. This worked beautifully. Like even down here, like check out this. I mean, we are like, now the only thing that is a little bit of a problem is that right here, we lose visibility of the bottom portion of this, which I would say is maybe 4 or 5 inches, maybe even 6 inches, where we're actually not gonna be able to see that's on the piece of leather. So what I'm gonna do to make sure we have a good understanding of what's visible and what's not is I'm gonna hold my pen here flat. I really should be doing this with a pencil, but the pen's already in my hand. So not that I don't want to tool down below, just everything below that line is literally not visible unless you come like and put your 2 eyeballs and like look up and over and down inside. So with that being said, I'm also going to mark completely flat. So somewhere right here, this is not a straight line, I'm now realizing right now. I think that's pretty straight. So here is our basically completely not visible line. Let me make sure that we get a good line across here. This is just like I thought, about 5 3/4 inches. Let's call it 6 inches completely flat here. This first bottom line, this is completely invisible to the eye, basically, unless you super look down in the crack, you'll be able to see. Now this is what is going to cap off flat like I was showing you. So this is basically our key point of design. Today's the day we make progress. I have been chomping at the bit to get this thing started. I have the rack, I don't know if you can see it in the shot, but it's over there. It's just been hanging out. I've been using a ton of self-restraint to not just stop production and work on this thing. So we're cutting the pattern out right now, and we're officially starting on this project. Shout out Leather Anglers. So here we have it. I'm gonna go do a little bit of an eyeball fit over there. To me, it is looking excellent. So if you remember, we have these 2 lines, the visible line and then the completely invisible line. So what I'm gonna do is slide these down Right about where my stitching line is, I'm going to mark this line here so I know what's visible and what's not. And then when we go to the drawing table, I'll have a better idea of my actual open canvas. We're gonna go head into the drawing bench. We can see our lines here. So this is our visible window. We wanna lay this nice and center. Try and put it smack dab right there. Luckily for us, the verticals, the up and down gaps, those don't have to be perfect, so we can kind of eyeball those, but we do want to make sure that these are visible. So this is about 18 inches across. So we're marked at about 3.5, and we're over slightly to the left. And there we go, we're at 3 3/4 inches on both sides. So here's where this needs to live. Normally, I'm not taping down things that we're tracing the way I'm about to right now, but because there's so much going on with this logo, I do not want to have any hiccups or any errors. So we're going to secure this down with a little bit of tape. This blue tape does a good job at not leaving residue. And I'm choosing these points because these lines are easy if I have to come in here after the fact and trace those, but I want to make sure I have good access to all these little shapes in here. And we're going to trace the logo with a pen over the top and transfer the image. In true Man in Black Leather Studio style, we are going to be plastering this thing with roses. I want to actually set and kind of frame this bottom portion in like a bed of roses, which is going to be super sick. So like the lowest thing you're going to see is like all these roses in here kind of cradling this logo, and then we're going to come up with floral up the side. Alright, so I'm pretty psyched to how this thing is turning out. I was gonna do floral pieces coming up this way and kind of do something symmetrical. And I was like, you know, this is so nice and this is so one of a kind. I would hate to just flip-flop it and do it mirror style. So we just went with a giant, big old circle. I actually picked up this swivel knife sharpening block from Dave when I went to go pick up my tool rack. So I'm gonna use this for the first time as well. Let's give it a shot. So, wish me luck and that I don't ruin this swivel knife blade. We'll see. I usually do 5, flip 5, and then I'll do 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 2, 1, 1. And then I'll usually do 1, 1 probably 3 or 4 times. Feels pretty dang sharp, but here's our moment of truth. Oh wow. It's so crazy. It doesn't even feel like it's cutting. This is kind of dangerous. That was like too easy to cut, to be honest. I gotta be careful. I'm not used to having my swivel knives this sharp. Oh, if I'm not careful, I can make a mistake. So I definitely gotta just go slow and steady on this bad boy. Here's what we got so far. I'm super psyched how it's coming out. So what we're gonna do now is we gotta back this thing in preparation for the tooling. So the stain turned out super good. I wish I filmed the edges, but I did the edges. The stain's turning out really good. I'm gonna go zip a little stitch around the outside. I think that'll give a nice little touch. So I'm gonna go sew the this stitch line right here. Moment of truth. I'm realizing now I really probably should have test fit this before I did the edges and everything. But oh baby. Oh hell yeah. Okay, I'm gonna glue this bad boy down and get the show on the road. Okay, so with this glue, I have to move super fast. This just has to stick super well first try, so wish me luck here. I probably should have used a shirt without fringe for this part of the video, but and then I'll come back with the brush and get the edge. Alright, moment of truth, folks. Be super careful because this is a really, really tight fit. Oh. Okay, thank God that came off. Wow. And here we have it. This thing turned out beautifully. To you, it might just seem like a simple purchase, but I'm not joking when I say this has been 5 years in the making. I dreamed of having this thing in the very beginning of my leather crafting journey, and when I decided I wasn't going to have a real job. I thought this was going to be out of my range. Now looking at it, you know, it's a relatively small purchase, and back then I thought something like this would only be for people who weren't me. Really, the bigger picture here is to not give up on your dreams. They're a lot closer than you might think they are. I don't mean that in a way of just purchasing items. I mean it in a way of chasing your dreams to getting yourself into a position where, quite frankly, I kind of bought this thing on a whim with not much thought. I messaged the guy, found out the price, and was like, wow, that's not bad. Sure, screw it. I always wanted one of these things, and I bought it. When I talk about this being a dream, it's not just about owning this thing. It's about being in a position where you can do these things for yourself and not have it seem like some massive daunting task or some crazy expense that's completely unjustified. I love how this looks in my workshop. It looks great. It feels great. Super functional. A huge shout out again to Dave Swallow. I'll link his information down in the description below if you're interested in having a custom tool rack made. And so you guys can check out all of his other stuff. Chase your dreams, and thank you for watching.